Okay, good day, everybody. Welcome to another episode of DOTAG, Diary of the Ambitious Guy with Ifeoluwa, your favorite toast as usual. Okay, and guys, before we even move into the podcast, DOTAG is actually a year. Was it last month? Yeah, DOTAG was a year last month, and just thinking through um when this podcast actually started like a year ago, and I was listening to my first episode, and I was like, okay, I was not really sure why I'm starting the podcast in the first place, and you know and I'm just running with it and see what's up with that. And now a year later, and I'm still thinking to myself, I've actually found the reason why I've started this podcast. And truth be told, in a way, I still haven't found it yet. I'm still in the journey of still discovering why I'm doing this. I think I have an idea, right? It's kind of creating a platform for people to, apart from me, to talk about my own story. I think also allow people to also talk about their own story too. And I think that has been the idea I've been running with for a while now. And yeah, I think maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. But it's just something I'm still on the journey, right? So DOTAG is 1 year, and I'm happy for the journey so far. For the guests that have been on the show, thank you for all the time. Thank you for everything. And my audience, thank you guys for sticking with me for the past 1 year. I really appreciate that. And so today's episode, I have wonderful friend with me. Uh, everybody that's been on this show has always been my friend, really, and I'm happy to have him on the show today. So I have Dotun Fajulugbe with me on the show
Yeah,
today, and okay, Mr. Dotun, I think maybe we might need to cut from the formalities a bit, like
yeah,
the
no,
way
I'm
sir,
fine.
sir,
Yeah, so wait. All right, good evening.
sir. Yeah, the leader I know about him is he loves music. And if I see there's anybody that loves music more than me, I think I'll literally just point my fingers to him. Um, we met in church, and he has quite a very interesting story, quite a very interesting journey, right? And I'm
If you
happy
say
to have
so.
him on the show today. I'm happy to have him on the show today, and I just want him to just introduce himself. So I'm pretty sure there's a lot more about him that I don't know that he would do justice to that. So, Dotson, please, this is our
Yeah,
audience would like to
so
meet you.
happy birthday happy belated birthday to Dotag. Yeah, I think I listened to that first episode and yeah, I remember it was in October last
Yeah,
year. I think it was 20 October. I think it dropped on like 21st or 23rd. But
yeah,
anyways,
yeah. It was around
yeah,
that
I
point.
remember it was around that period. I think it was like today's your birthday or something. But sha,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a real pleasure to be here. My name is Dotun. I am from Ekiti State. What else? I'm a musician, singer, songwriter, singer, songwriter, director. I am a creative. I work as a marketing specialist in a real estate agency. Basically, I'm creative director of a real estate investment firm,
Okay.
based in Akure. And what else? I used to dabble in software, in front end development. What else? I think basically
Okay.
that's like the sum. That's the sum total. I mean,
Mm,
at in one go, I think that's the sum total
okay.
for now.
Okay. Uh, okay. So, yeah, he's a. I think I mentioned it. He's a very very proud Ekiti person. Uh,
I know for me. That one. You hear that one? You hear that one?
Oh my god! And well, I'm really, I've met quite a lot of Ekiti people, and I'm happy to know you. And it's I think there's a source of I think I tell you as much as possible. There's this thing I just envy about you, like your level of patience when it comes to dealing with people. Um, it's just sometimes it's just very admirable. I'll be like, okay,
Uh,
I don't think I don't think I have the same level of patience that you have dealing with different kind of people, and still being and then to be able to achieve what you need to achieve at the same how do you do that really?
well, so here's the thing. Okay, it might look really. How do I put it now? Like, there's no science to it, right? There's no science to it.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, I think that it's the fact that I've been in separate places where I've had to like deal with people, get something from people, like get a result from people. And I mean, I don't know, I think I've just come to understand that people are at different points. So you have to like meet them at those different points. Everybody has like their own unique experience, which is fine. So,
Mm.
it leads to, I think, in my perspective, it leads to you having to make excuses for each and every person because they have like their own unique experience. They have their own thing going on for them separately. It's crazy when you're dealing with stuff. For instance, right? You're in a car, you're dealing with stuff, you have problems like 99 problems, and you see about 1,000 other cars
Mm.
on the way, and it occurs to you that everybody in each car also has like whatever it is they're dealing with. I mean, apart from you, everybody's like a whole world on their own. Do you understand? So I think that was
Mm.
I
Yeah.
I think that's easy to understand that I just have a bit like people deal with stuff in their own ways and you just have to meet people in the middle every single time. Just meet them where they are. Something like that. But trust me, there's no
but
there's
but,
no rocket
but
science. It's not deep. It's not deep. Trust me.
but the issue that I get to notice is if one is trying to be very considerate of everybody's
Feelings.
feelings or emotion and all that. What about you yourself? How do you get to who not gets to care about your own feelings? Because in this, I'm being sincere because in the same process, you will see people in the means of trying to care about what this person feels, what this person feels.
You run the
You
risk of
yourself, you get hot.
you run the
Exactly,
risk
you don't
of
think of getting hot yourself.
getting okay, so I can't say that I've asked myself like this question on a conscious level, right? But I think
Mm-hmm.
that how I deal with that basically is, you know, in my head, one of the people that I've met that have actually like shaped my journey was a lady. I mean, like way back in school, she was like my school mother thing. When school mothers, and so when being having a school mother was still very popular. So she was my school mother back when I got to 11. I think she was like 12 years older, but you wouldn't know she was petite and all that. Very fine artist. So she adopted us, myself and my four friends, and she used to teach us some things. That one of the things she taught me very early was you know, you need to have the ability to make excuses for people. Like in your head, if someone acts this way, before you hear their side of the story, you have to think, okay, maybe they did it because, maybe they did it because this. However, yeah, like you rightfully said, there's the risk of being hurt, right? I have my own support systems that I am grateful for that I can vent to,
Mm.
right? That I can vent to. I mean, naturally, I do. And in fact, when I don't have those people, I get very cranky. Like maybe when myself and those people are fighting, for instance, or we're not talking for like I'm sure I might get cranky
Mm.
because I mean there's a need to actually have that vent where you can actually like open up and fun like this, like stuff like that.
Mm.
And one other thing is
Mm.
if you're ever in a space like that, I mean one of the best things you want to make sure is that those people are not very judgmental. Like I mean the people you vent to, because if they are, it will get to a point where you talk and
Mm.
but you all know they did too much. Like, do you understand? Yeah, so
Yeah, yeah, true.
it helps to have some like really non-judgmental people that you can vent to on part time. Yeah, I think that works for me. I think I do have a number of those people that I can always like
Yeah,
use as my vent. Yeah.
yeah, it's actually good to have. in as much as it's just like a flow thing. You're taking in a lot
Mm-hmm,
of
yeah.
quote on unquote bullshit from people, right?
Right.
And now you need to be able to find a way to let it
So
out
yeah,
somewhere
yeah, yeah. True
because
that. So,
you can't exactly. So it's good
because
to have that
everybody has
outlet.
breaking points, right? Everybody has a breaking point. Everybody
True.
has that point where you can push me. At some point, I give up on certain people, right? So in that same sense, I need to be able to express to certain people and say, "Oh, this is what's up. This is what's going on." Yeah.
Mm. That's and I think that's like where I can say friendship comes to play because in
Right.
as much as yeah, because friendship has a part to play in this kind of thing. For example, I
Mm-hmm.
know that a lot of guys, let me just put it that way. I might be wrong. Maybe just some of people I know, they just feel like I'm going through this stuff. Me myself as a very good example.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a very good example of that. I can I can take in a lot of things from people, like
Mm-hmm.
I'm just quote and unquote, as I said, I take in a lot of bullshit from people. Even though in my heart, I might take it in. But it got to a point that it will get to a point where I take it so much that I don't find an outlet for myself. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Initially, I just feel like, I can just keep absorbing and absorbing and absorbing.
Mm-hmm.
So it will get to a point where just as I said, there's a breaking point.
Right.
You will not be able to absorb it anymore, and at that point, one can just lash out, right? And I can say that is like one of the reasons why I started this podcasting. I felt
I
like,
get
okay,
that.
this is a point for me to just whatever it is I'm going through, whatever it is that I'm passing through, right? Good, bad, whatever it is, this an outlet forum for me, right? Of course, I
Mm-hmm.
have families, I have some set of friends that I talk to, and about some
I
of
get
these things
that.
that I'm going through. So it's not even necessarily because I want them to be able to find a solution for my problem, right? It's just just as you say, just like a support system, somebody that is willing to just listen to you,
Right.
right? And not say, what you did was wrong, what you did was right.
I mean, just
I'm not
listen
really
for
interested
just
in.
right.
Yeah.
It's
Just
quite
have that
important to
support
have that
system.
non-judgmental side to friendship in a way,
Mm-hmm.
because I
Yeah.
mean, there's enough judgment in the world, and you just sometimes you really just need a safe space. Like, okay, let me talk.
Mm-hmm.
You can judge me, you can let me talk. Yeah, that's it for me basically. To start with,
I think it's. Yeah.
and
I know,
another
of
thing
course, I know
is,
it's way more than that. What?
more than that, maybe because I mean, though in the places, maybe not in the places because okay, there was a time. Let me say it like this: like I've been in roles where I like had to interact with a lot of people, right? Starting
Mm-hmm.
from probably like from school way back, I directed teams, directed choirs, worked with groups in school, all of that. Leaving school, I just okay, I was directing a music crew in Akure, in my crew. I was, and then there were so many roles, other roles in which I worked in that needed me to interact with people. And when I do, you understand that, especially when you're in a group, everybody wants their needs to be catered for, right? Nobody's really factoring it. Human beings by nature just want to, like, everybody wants to be satisfied. It's fine,
Mm-hmm.
right? But then at some point you have to get really introspective and look at yourself like, okay, who satisfies me? Like, okay, at some point you have to become selfish at some point. That's another thing. I think that this one
Mm-hmm.
is very, very key. At some point you have to draw the line between what you want and what everybody wants to get. Yes, that one very, very important. Hey, I think that you have
Mm-hmm.
to there has to be a tiny bit of selfishness, just a tiny bit. But then yes,
Yeah, yeah, true. I just wanted to ask that. I don't know. Have you um seen a point in your life where you felt like friendship helped you through those tough times? Like, has there been any point in your life where, have there been time when a friend like supported you in your way and kind of really stuck
well,
with you when
many times,
you actually needed it?
well,
Okay.
many times,
That
many times. I've had some
if you like to share, yeah.
specific instances. I don't know. you know the kind of thing where it's been so much that you can't actually pinpoint an instance now that you know. So
Sorry.
because I have a friend. I mean way back in school, so I met this guy. You know, we're like five in number. We used to call ourselves the Big Five
Okay.
because we felt on top of the world. 100 levels student, freshers, we was felt on top of. So you know, we're all musicians except for one guy. All of us tight guys. So people used to envy us in fellowship. Then I remember, and then one of them, you know, happened to be my roommate. You know, the one I stayed with longer than all of them. You know, and he, this particular guy, is my friend. But then he showed me a side too because me, let's just say I had a certain perspective of how civilized people should behave. But then he
Mm-hmm.
was on the other hand, he was very um how do I put it now? It just was very non-conforming to whatever was normal. He just liked to do things his own way. Like I used to think that I was not a morning person, but then my roommate would wake up early in the morning and start swearing for everybody in the house. Now, look, why swearing in itself might not be a good thing. What he did was that he just used to throw me off balance. Like, what kind of person is this? Like, now, note this. There were times, various times, where I could like easily be in my own head, but for this person's personality, the way it is, like the way his personality was just all very very bubbly most of the time, right? It could easily I could count on the fact that okay, no matter how down you're feeling, there's always a backup. There was one time I was feeling really down. I can't even remember. I think I was I can't remember what it was. Maybe it was I was thinking about my dad or something, you know, and then I got really in my head. And this guy just came inside the house and started shouting, started making noise, started disturbing everybody. I'm like, bro, shut up, shut the fuck up. Like, you know, that's sort of uncounted. I've had countless times. I really can't count. But then, because for me, as a creative, my basically everything that I do stems from having the space of mind to do it, right? And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, being in the right headspace. So much of the time when I am not, I can always count on certain people to like jack me out of that funk, like ASAP, ASAP. So yeah, I while I can't refer to some specific instances, I still think that it's been very key for me in maintaining sanity. Like the circle of friends, like I don't keep many friends actually. I do not like many close
Okay.
friends. I don't keep them.
Yeah, and do you make time to kind of stay connected with them, or it's
Nope.
just
No, actually,
Oh my
so
god.
something happened. You know, I was okay. This is quite tricky. I was in the, I there was a time I used to have like plenty friends. You know, 2018
Mm-hmm.
thereabouts, plenty friends. Then I got into a relationship, and the terms of the relationship, in terms of use, you know, required that I, you know, not be so available to everybody. Like he wanted it that way, and I respected that, right? So I had to cut off a lot of my friends, a lot, not like cut off, but I had to reduce contact. The people that are my friends, go, you know, they stuck with me, they understood, which is fine. But I missed out on a lot of people along the way, a lot. Like there are times I pick up my phone or I see someone in town, like me and this person used to be friends. I still spoke to someone today. I'm like, me and this guy used to be best friends one year. But then it just happens that way, right? So now note this after that relationship came to an end, it became a struggle to try to get back to being that socially upbeat person. Like I had a couple of
Mm-hmm.
friends that still tell me, "Oh, you're not. I don't want to be friends with you because you're not emotionally available, or you're not like. Do you understand? Because I want to talk to you, I want to see you, but then I mean, I've me that I've done my, I mean, my sleep cycle is like sleep by 10, wake up by 2. I want you now want me to be midnight. Do you understand? So, I mean, there were some things that I could not cope with. Now, my friends they stuck with me. So that's why I say that I maintain, I keep a very low circle because many people now will not understand this angle now. Many people would actually not understand. Do you get? So that's
Yeah.
why I see it. That's why I see it.
Okay, I think we'll still do a little bit more about like the old friendship and all that because I feel guys most especially find it very
Mm-hmm.
difficult to be able to have that set of friends that you either male or female now that you can call, okay, these are my like my support group when things are not fine, set of people I can reach out to, set of people I can talk to when things are
Mm-hmm.
good, when things are bad in that sense. Yeah. So just divert a bit from that. And you now, Mr. Dotun Fajulugbe, I myself need to correct myself as much as possible. Okay. So
Yeah,
Dotun
you do.
Fajulugbe is a creative director at a real estate company, and
Yeah, we should purge the name,
I
sir.
really want to eh, okay, it's fine. So it's so a real estate company in Akure, real estate company in Akure called Joma. So you guys can check them out. I'll probably drop the link to the website on the podcast so you guys can check them out. So how were you able to manage that? How were you able to get to that, right? Because being a creative director at such places, I don't think it would have been any it cannot be that easy. Let me just put it that way, right? How were you able to navigate your journey into being a creative director at Joma?
Okay, so like, I think it was mostly like
How did the journey
time,
start?
Okay,
Basically,
so
like
let's do it like this,
how did it start exactly? Yeah.
right? So luck is when like opportunity meets preparation, yeah. So I think it was like luck, and I don't know. Now here's the thing. At some point in 20, I think it was like 2022, I was trying to get started with like what's now web app development. I was really getting into my phone. Then
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to work on projects. I was applying like mad. Then all of a sudden, I think my system just when did add one fault. Then my phone spoiled. Like my gadgets just everything bad. Wow. So I was trying to look for something to keep me afloat. I needed a job at that point. So I got this marketing gig. It was marketing in Juma, right? And so me, I'm the kind of person that by nature I like to sell unbeatable products. I don't know how to beg people to buy something. Like over time, I'm serious. That's my mom used to make pap for secondary school. She's a teacher herself, so she used to make pap in like large
Okay.
quantities back then. And
Okay.
then she would go make deliveries for us. So I've done like dispatch, I've done logistics very well in that career. Now the point is,
Mm.
I whenever she send us there, she tell us, oh, so sometimes maybe she packs pap of maybe 40K for instance, and then she packs extra. Maybe she packed like 5K extra on it. The point is, she would say,
Mm.
oh, the people that have ordered, give them this 40K on. That 5K on, take you around. I used to tell her back then, I cannot take you around. It's just the kind of person I can't. If they know that I'm not taking it there because it's just in my nature to. I don't know how to pester people too long. Like, so when I
Mm.
started in marketing, for the first week, I knew that oh, this thing will long for me because it's real estate. It's not it's not like buying a phone or buying a shirt.
Mm.
I mean, it's usually a decision that people take time to think about before they do it. So if someone that wants to buy land will not just buy it on a whim. They think about it,
Mm.
right?
Yep.
So when I got into that field, for the first few weeks, I think I tried to survive. First few months, I did a little well, judging by my standards. I wasn't bad. Then it got to a point, and I was like, okay, like it felt like I was stuck. Like trying to convince people to come and buy. I actually did a lot of that. Right. Then, moving into the turn of the year, January 2023, I now note that the marketing for me it wasn't bad in that sense. I just felt like it was long term unsustainable for my kind of person. Right. I mean, and if
Mm.
you're out there and you're in marketing, you're in sales, it's a brilliant field. If it's your fit, then I mean, go for it. There is serious money in marketing, serious money, right? But then that aside, So what happened was I think I contested for Mr. Jomavu. That was in
Really?
December. Not like I contested, they pushed me out and said, you want to represent our brand. That was at the end of it
Okay.
then. So they
Mm.
pushed me to contest. They gave me somebody as Miss Joma, and then we contested together and we won, right? So after the
Mm.
turn of the
Wow.
year, the pressure got worse. Like, oh, Mr. Joma, why are your skills like this? Why are you? It got really annoying. So all of a sudden, one day, someone was like, "Oh, media has a shoot. Oh. Say you do shoots." And to be
Mm.
honest with you, the person that convinced me is someone that I would naturally not take advice from. In fact, the guy voted for Tulumbu. He voted for Balabu. Now the point is, and he was so vocal about his choice then, so I knew that normally this guy would not give me
Mm.
advice and I'll follow it because I just didn't like to hear whatever I asked. So he tell me,
Mhm.
hello, she shoots now, do this shoots now. So I went to do, I shot an ad event then, and then I shot another. Then it was still a very small department. I think it was about 3 people, just 2 people and the team lead. And then on the second time I shot another with them. And mind you, I have experience in, like, I worked in broadcast, I worked in radio and TV, Orange FM, West LC. I hosted a couple of shows. So I had experience of
Okay.
these things. I mean, I knew how these things work. So when I saw them shooting, the next shoot, I just walked up to a lady there who is currently my content lead. And then I walked up to her, I'm like, wait, so this is your department. What will it take to join? And she said,
Mm.
oh, I don't know, talk to the team lead. So there and then, I met him. I was like, sir, the way I even painted, I was like, I want to come and do internship in your department. Then he said, okay, sell yourself for in 1 minute to sell yourself what you can offer. And I think that was like the best speech I've ever given. Like, because I had to do it faster. Like there on set, I was like, okay, this is what I
Mm.
do. I mean, and also I can do part time web admin. I have to like package myself there. So
Yeah.
there I think I got like a 1 month internship there, like on the spot, and was like, okay, resume, let's start work. And then I started work. So I moved from sales to brand and corporate communications, basically after the initial paperwork and all that. So when I started, I came in as technically it was like copywriter slash I think it was, I can't remember what the title was now, but then it was basically copywriter slash one thing. So what I was doing was I was doing all the writing, scripts, um, anything scripting, anything schedules, itineraries, all the writing. I was doing all the writing departments, voiceovers, ads, everything. So it was having to come to me, marketing copy, billboard copy. I was writing all of that. Now, fast forward to where can I say that it really took a leap? Now, note that the organization I work for also is we're trying to scale in that time. We're trying to scale, so we were having to like do
Mhm.
different locations, different places. So we there was a lot of moving around, establishing properties and all that. So there was some experience gained in that process. However, I think the real thing came in when we started to like move into actual influencer marketing, right? And then
Okay.
um, we needed to be able to coordinate because we didn't want to really outsource in that sense. We didn't want to outsource, seeing as if we try to outsource, there will be a local touch because of our home environment. I mean, we're still like very much based in the southwest. We're looking at like southwest
Yeah.
markets, Korea, Ondo. So we needed something. We needed someone who could understand like the local markets, the local environment. And so we thought about it like, okay, there's really no edge to outsourcing this. Like, okay, so we started running our campaigns ourselves, right? So then
Okay.
so when I became creative director, it was more like a let's testing kind of thing, right?
Mm.
Yeah, and then that was when we came up with a campaign in the beginning of the year, and we sold. I mean, the campaign has sold like averagely. I can't say, but then I know it's like a number of billions, and
Oh.
like it's named to move units. Yes, yes. So it's named to move units basically, and we've Well, I mean, over time, was some funny celebrities, some funny, very funny acting people. But then I think that I've just come to grow into that role. It wasn't easy at first, too. In fact, there was one campaign I did in that I directed in January, February. Was around this Valentine time, and then my boss was,
Okay.
and then we did an appraisal at the end of the month. I think it was like, you need to wake up. It's like, don't understand your job yet. And they yapped me that, God, they yapped me that appraisal. But now, I mean, I think that I got the hang of it, and it's been a very, very funny journey. But yeah, it's not been easy, but it's been fun. It's been fun. I like the fun
Yeah, and
things.
yeah,
I,
I know that you want to say something? Go
I
ahead. Go
should
ahead.
I should I should elaborate on that statement. I think that in everything I do a lot of things, right? But that's like what
Okay.
really defines me. I like the fun thing. Like
Okay.
I do anything that seems like fun to me. If the fun
Mm.
stops, I stop. Like I think that's like the side of music, the side of anything I do, football, sports, anything. It has to be fun for me. I have to find fun doing it. If I find fun doing something, I think I do it well. I just do it. If I find fun doing it.
Yeah.
That's the lowdown.
Just on a side note, Dotun is a crazy Ala Madrid fan. You have never seen him really support that club.
Alamadid, Inadamas, Inadamas, Alamadid. That'll be your 50 Champions League. That'll be your 50 Champions League.
Oh my god! So like this you being this creative, being a creative director at Joma, I'm pretty sure it must have opened you to opportunities. Like I don't know, maybe you might like try and share some of the opportunities it has opened you up to that you felt like, if I'm on my normal self, I don't think I might have had this kind of opportunity. Right? What are like some of the opportunities that this position has kind of opened you up to? That's it.
Okay. So, I, okay. So, apart from being like probably one of the, being in the driver's seat basically to,
Mm-hmm.
um, undo some of like the tightest campaigns in Akure. I can say it. I think I can say that boldly that for private firms, private business firms in Akure, I don't know. I think I should be able to boldly say that we have done some amazing campaigns. We've done some amazing stuff for a company based in Akure over the last 1 year. We even did trade fairs. And since we did that trade fair, and that trade fair, since we did that trade fair, just sort of, it's like it opened people's eyes to, oh, trade fair, oh, let's do, people became more conscious to the possibility of actually hosting trade fairs for business visibility. I mean,
Yeah.
since we hosted the trade fair in November 2023, I can count about 4 or 5 trade fairs that have come in that span. Try to achieve the same level of noise and the same level of um, the same level of visibility. But I think I can say that we launched that market. Opportunities. I've had the opportunity to work with some amazing individuals, to work with some certain top names. Um, I directed the Even You campaign with Dimba Demuye back earlier this year. She was our lead talent. And we had a number of other
Mm.
guys we considered for that. I think we worked with Saga. I think we worked with Saga. Yeah. Then we had Tenny, we had Folagadi Bam. So I had a number of people. So I think that personally, I've been able to work with those people, get their their insights, on certain things. I did a song for the campaign that featured Tenny.
Sorry, sorry. Sorry to cut
Just
you. Like just thinking about it right now, I feel like, oh god, I did not, I should have prepared the song. Like I should have prepared that song
I
and
mean,
played it.
I did it wrong, and then
Oh my god.
and then one of the fun parts of that was when we were trying to record somewhere in Lekki, and then she came in and she's like, "Oh, you guys didn't have to revoice the song, yeah, because we gave her a song and we're like, okay, just sing the song, right?" And she's like,
Okay.
"Oh, what if I don't like it?" And I'm like, "Oh, if you don't like it, you can do your thing." And then she listens to the song and she's like, "Oh, like this is a jam," and I'm like, "Okay, okay, run my check, bro." Like,
Oh my
and
god.
then he's like, "Oh, this is
Oh.
tight, man." And then when we brought her for events in Accra and in Ondo, she was trying to, she was trying to ginger the crowd and she performed that song. And when she was almost done, and she's like, "Tell me that song. Where's that guy? Where's the guy?" And looking for me like, "Ah, come on stage, bro." you know. And yeah,
Yeah.
personally, I think that that particular song too. I mean, when we were on
Mm.
set in back in June, was it April or June now? And then when we played it for Bimbo, and like before the end of the shoot, she was already singing the song. She's like, ah, yes, that song is tight. So a number of things, but I think that it's been able to, because I've been able to maximize my skill set. Yeah, I
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I've been able to leverage on certain things from from previous fields of experience. I've been able to, sometimes just okay, jump in the studio, let's run this song for this campaign, let's do this song for this. I've been able to take my experience from voiceovers and you know jingles and all that and leverage on it. I've been able to with people's skills too, because I mean I've had to work with people. Um, Imagine there was a time before I was creative director. There was a time they put me in charge of casting. So anytime we had a
Okay.
large shoots like that, it was always a problem for me because I'd have to get in touch with like 30, 20 people and they have to be on set. And everybody's just doing their thing. And then sometimes you keep people on set waiting for equipment or waiting for something. And then everybody's getting tired, they want to go, and then you have to find a way to keep them happy and keep them because people.
Mm.
So I've been able to leverage. I've also, like I said, it has taken me a number of places, right? I mean, thank God for safety, but it constantly keeps me on the road. I don't like traveling, as in, I don't like traveling. I don't like the process of traveling, but I like being in places, right? I like seeing places. It's done a bit for me. It's done a real bit for me, and I think that I've enjoyed most of it. I've enjoyed most of it, to be
Mm.
honest. I
Yeah.
can't say I've enjoyed everything
Yeah.
actually, but I've enjoyed most of it.
It's just life just has a way of bringing some of the things that one might have learned that I felt making maybe this is not needed at
I
this
know,
point in
right?
time. But the fact that you learned it,
There was
it
time
just
I used
finds
to
a
play
way
around
to.
with WordPress, and then it turns out to be like one of the things that I use it very frequently now because I mean, you sometimes
Mm,
have to like do stuff on the company side, all of that. So yeah,
yeah,
useful
yeah.
skill.
It's that's a very very interesting journey, I must say. So there's this question I want to ask. It's also kind of off topic.
Okay.
Do you think do you think asking for help? Do you think asking for help is a sign of weakness?
No. In fact, why did I even believe my response? It's an unequivocal no now. Like, because here's the thing: if everybody had what they needed, it, then
Mm,
what's the point of community? Then what's the point of people? Everybody had what they needed. Now, there will always be something. There will always be a service that is needed that someone else can provide, or that you cannot provide by yourself. So I don't think it's a sign of it. I think that ultimately, at some point, you're going to need what someone else has. I mean, and then it's in a way everybody asks for help. It's just in approach and in leverage, right? Some people are able to ask for help but disguise it in a way that seems like, oh, you should give it to me because it's my right. They're not asking for help
mm,
straight up. They are disguising it in a way to seem like they are entitled to that sort of thing. I don't know if I
mm,
can find a specific instance to phrase that, but um basically everybody needs help at some point. So no, I do not think that it's a sense of weakness.
Okay, so the reason why I asked the question,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because this, I think I've mentioned it in one of my episodes before, and it was like initially it was like a struggle for me because it always felt like I am indebted to someone. Okay, I
Mm.
don't like the idea. I don't like the idea of being indebted to anybody. I don't want to owe anybody anything, right? I want to like I know that sounds very it sounds somehow, right? Because
Well, I mean, you're
it
entitled
feels
to
like
your.
so yeah, it I find it very difficult to be able to reach out to someone and say, okay, I'm going through this thing. I need your help with this. Because at the end of the day, that makes me feel like, okay, I have to repay that
That
person back.
person.
That
Ah,
pressure is always on me to be able to repay that person back. So I find it very difficult to say, okay, I need help concerning that. And that's just because of that. Right. And I know,
okay.
I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that goes through this kind of
Well, sure.
thinking. Right. So in that still in that sense, what do you still think? Do you still think
Okay.
asking for help? Yeah, go on.
Do you know what I think? What I think is this. First off, um, so I came to the conclusion once. There was a time when I was facing one trouble. It wasn't me. More like it was my brother, I think. You know. And then we were trying to sort that thing. And I was so tense because we didn't want my mom to find out. I was so tense. And then one afternoon, that afternoon, I was alone at home. And my street then very quiet place. I mean, like after it, everybody has gone up, people have gone to school. So like there's literally nobody else. Very quiet. So if you want to sleep, you can sleep anytime. That afternoon, I was so disturbed that I could not sleep because my mom was this close to finding out. And then it came to mind that something came to mind, something very powerful, like, okay, guy, in the next 5 months, you're probably going to be facing a different problem, and everything you're feeling right now will not matter. Everything you're feeling, if you like, it will likely not matter. It will most. And then I thought about it, and I just went to sleep because, to be honest with
Mm,
you, um, in a matter of time, you're probably going to be facing a whole different set of trouble and all, a whole different set of problems and all that. It doesn't invalidate the fact that you feel that way in that time. Now, what I'm driving at is this: it's quite possible to feel like you're indebted to someone or to that person, but I think I've just learned to shake it off. Like, okay, this is a fix for now. This is if this is something that has to be okay. Is there any other way? You have to weigh the lesser of two evils, right? You have to weigh the evils
mm,
because you have to know, okay, the risk of not getting that help at that time, does it alter what I will feel? That's just how I look at it. I just weigh the two evils and I live with it because I know that in the next 1 week I'll
mm.
probably not be thinking about it. Most likely,
Yeah.
mostly.
Because because for me, really, I don't have issues offering help to people. Like if somebody comes up and said, okay, I need your help with this, I need your help with this. Like okay, okay, I'm not that I'm boasting, right? But I
Don't worry,
sometimes I
don't
can
worry.
be
I
very,
start
very
remember this. Don't
selfish.
worry. I start. I start. Don't worry. Say I start remember this now.
Yeah. So I can be very selfish. Like I can render help to people that need it, right? But receiving the help myself is something I kind of really struggled with because as I said, there's always this sense that okay, I have to repay this person back. I have to give this person back this thing.
Mm.
It took a lot of time to be able to say, if you deserve to be helped from by people. People can help you, and there's nothing wrong with it. Like I had literally had to keep confessing that to myself and come to that consciousness that because people are helping you does not mean you owe them anything, right? People
Actually,
can help you just like the way you can offer help to people. People also can decide to offer help to you, and not
of
even
course,
no
that's
strings
quite funny.
attached. Do you get
Mm-hmm.
that? So it was something I kind of struggled with for a very long time, and I have to just constantly keep saying that yes, if people can help you, and
Yeah, true.
there's nothing wrong with you receiving help from people. There's nothing wrong with you receiving help from people, and just accept
That's
it and let it
that's
go.
quite bad. I think you have to. I think you have to cut yourself some slack. I think you need to give yourself some. You need to extend some grace to yourself.
Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, you deserve to be helped. I mean, everybody does. You especially. Apart from that, you have to understand that there are things that people might be in a position to do that you might not be able to do to yourself for yourself in that time. You cannot control all the variables in the world. You cannot control all the variables, and sometimes there are like a lot of variables, and then sometimes you just have to like um leave it to the people who can to do it, so that your mind can probably take care of some other things. That's how I see it. You can't control every single variable.
Hmm. True, true, true. Actually, well said. Honestly, well said. And yeah, to all people, other people out there listening to this, and you kind of find it very difficult. I think it's just a balance, right? From
Yeah,
where I'm
sure.
seeing it, there's a balance. There's a balance between being able to give, render help, and also to be able to receive help. It's
Uh-huh.
not good to be on just one side of the fence. Either you are just a giver, you will burn out, and if you're a
Right?
receiver, it will get to a
Yeah, I
point that
think
people would.
that part, because you
Yeah.
have to maintain that balance between giving and receiving. You know.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So okay, so there's something I really want to kind of know. This is a very I know this is a very personal story to you, and
Okay.
I've had um a friend of mine also on this podcast also has kind of experienced the same thing that you have experienced,
Okay.
and I kind of know, I kind of in a way understand because
Okay.
it has not happened to me, so I can't say I fully understand, right? But
Mm-hmm.
I just want to try and see how that kind of has what kind of effect that has on people, right? The loss of a loved one, right?
Okay.
Um, I know. At some point, I don't know when, like in the stage of your life when you heard about the news of your dad
Mm-hmm.
that he passed away and all of that. How did you react when you had the news in the first place?
Okay, so first off, I was like quite young. I was very young at
Yeah.
that time. This happened 20 years, 20, 20 years ago, yes. 20 years and some months.
Wow.
So when I heard about it, right, it to me it was still, it was still painful, but then not in that strong sense. I mean, I really did not really, I think I didn't really internalize it until gradually over the next few months. Now, this is what I mean. I have a, I have an eidetic memory, right? Like I can remember things. I can remember what I was wearing on certain days 6 years ago, for instance. I can remember what I was doing. And when my brain decides to forget things, it forgets them like very well, forgets them very hard, like it wipes them out. Now, however, when I remember certain things, I do not remember. I think that losing my dad was the incident that kind of like triggered it because I cannot remember much before that time. However, my brain can tell you many things after that time. I don't know if you get me. Like I mean I have flashes from before then. But after then, now this is it. Moving from that time, when I got into school, what would happen was that anytime I felt cheated in any way, I would start crying because I would feel like, oh, it's probably because of course my papa no did. All those kind. I used to cry very. I used to cry over like the silliest things, right? And it's sort of like even into secondary school, I still used to have this kind of you're trying to victimize me kind of mentality. I used to have like this victim mentality because maybe if maybe if I had like that system in place, maybe it wouldn't be, maybe this wouldn't touch me so bad, or maybe this wouldn't affect me so bad. I used to, and it used to get to me. until I tried dealing with it in a way that okay, nobody really cares, man. Like, get up and do your thing. They're not going to ask you for process. Everybody just wants to see results. Nobody cares if your father died yesterday or you died 10 years ago. All they want to do is okay. I mean, whatever you have to get done, get it done. Whatever you want to be excellent at it. Because truth is, people really do not, in my opinion, from what I've seen, people do not care very much about stories and that. So your story is nice, your story is beautiful, but then people will not judge you based on your story most of the time. They will judge you based on what you're bringing. So I think I just learned to win myself out of it. Like, okay, get out of this funk. Okay, your papa don't die. Okay, no, come over. Keep moving, keep it moving, keep it going. Because, but then for that time, it was painful. I remember some things, right? I remember some things
Yeah.
from the line in state to I remember the line in state at his office in Accra. I remember the burial itself, graveside. I remember, it was just a distant kind of thing. It really wasn't internalized, right? And I remember, relatives coming to the house in Akure, taking his car. They said they wanted to use it to buy shares. I didn't even know the bank they bought the shares. We had to know cashiers here, but I like to cash out. Shares wey you buy since 2004, and it was not going on. You know, a number of things, and then I remember I think we had to like leave our house in Okiaru. Then I had to go to my aunt's place in Okiaru for a while. Then came to Shagari, in Akure here. And just to now was after that time that I really started to feel like okay, my dad was absent because after that time, my mom had to deal with like a whole number of concerns, death. So there was some death here and there, this and that, and then it got to go at that point. That was when I was really starting to understand what it meant to not have a father. It was tough to be honest. That was how one day I think it was my dad's remembrance and my roommate in school was acting. I was acting funny. I wanted to swear for him like, "Are you normal? What's the name wrong?" and he happens to be this kind of person that when he just wants to talk, he just wants to abuse you. Doesn't care about how you feel. Like and he just abuse you that like this one is mad. Like talking about my father. Like, but then really, I think at some point I just had to see myself as my own person. Okay, this has happened. This has happened. There always one with a war story that you guys did. But then what is shared there, don't stop. So you have to keep it moving. Somehow you have to keep it moving.
Do you remember any memory you kind of had with him that
Yes,
was
now.
like a very fun memory that you really enjoyed? Yeah.
Number 100. They were flashes, but I remember that like there was this park, not park then. It was like part of Ministry of Water Resources here in Akure. That place is a forgotten location. I'm not sure many people know that there's a swimming pool somewhere inside that place. It's around
Yeah.
if you know Akure well, if you know this is it Omeja they call it after that they been later after your side. After the game, like, as if you're going
Yeah.
towards First Bank. As if you're going towards First Bank. There's
Okay.
this Omieja place where they sell that bar under the trees.
Oh
That
yeah,
place.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Right
yeah,
beside
yeah,
it,
yeah,
there
yeah,
is
yeah.
like right beside it, there is like this water resources place. Now inside that compound, it's a bush. I think bush has grown through that place now and all that. But inside that compound, there
Okay.
used to be like one world swimming pool in there. My dad used to carry us on Saturdays because I think it was for federal ministry employees. It was like exclusive location. We go inside that place, we would swim on Saturdays. And serious, like I remember that part. And then when when you travel to Orange, come back. There was a time my mom traveled and my dad had to cook for us and the food was tasting like I remember. I remember this is very well.
Oh my god.
Just a couple, and then I remember him playing the Lion King album in his car. Like, so there's just a
Wow.
number of things. Yeah, I picked that album from his place because there was not. I didn't listen to the album for years, right? Up until 2017, and then there was a day I was asleep and I just ate the album. I ate We are more than we are one. And it hit in my head that the last time I heard
Yeah.
that particular version was in Madagascar. Then we used to like move around a lot, but there were fun times to be honest. They were fun times. But most of the things from that era, I actually do not remember many of those things. But I remember like 95% of whatever it is that I've gone through after that time. Yes, yes, please. I remember very well.
Hmm.
So yeah,
I
yeah, you want
it's
to keep
like for
going? Yeah,
example
just
now.
okay.
So like some of the people that I've spoken with that go through something like this, right? There's always a grief journey for them, right? And some will start with a thread, like literally a thread towards the person that they lost. I'd be like, why did you leave at this point in time? Why now?
Mm,
Like
okay.
a form of, and it's I don't know how I'm going to put it. It's maybe just because it's probably just their grief process. Then they grow
Mm-hmm.
into, they move into, I miss you, I miss you, I miss you, that kind of thing. Then they forget about it. Then they go
Mm-hmm.
back into the, like. There's always that grief process for people in that sense.
Mm,
It's different depending on the kind of personality the person is
mm-hmm.
and all that. So I just wanted to know, like, what was like your grief process? Was there at any point you felt like what he did? Oh, sorry, I really don't know how he died or how he passed and all that. But was there any point where you felt like you felt hatred towards him because of what happened? You felt like he
Okay.
left you and
Okay, so okay, this is a funny question now because let me approach it this way. Now,
okay.
my dad was he did not take life too seriously, and I think that I've inherited that in the
Mm,
sense that there are things that you could not you could not force him to take those things like seriously. That was just that was his thing, right? Now, okay, so at first there was of course, going through like the normal 5 stages of, normal 5 stages of grief, as it were. But I think the stage where I think I spent more time was in, I wouldn't say hatred. I did not hate him, right? I just felt like, okay, what if I was running a lot of cross scenarios in my head, like, okay, what if it didn't
mm,
happen? Maybe maybe I'll be in a better place by now. Because trust me, there were so many times in just coming from school mostly said, where I would think like,
mm,
okay, like I should be in a better place now, or maybe if it was here, maybe things would have turned out a bit differently. Maybe I'll be schooling somewhere in Singapore. I used to think about those things like instead of Akumbason knocking my head anyhow. Like, you know, I was really really I think I tried to bargain a lot, like what if, and but not hatred per se. I just felt like, okay, you did your thing, you could have done it better, but you did your thing and it cost you. Okay, no harm. Like, maybe that's a lesson in what to do and what not to do. Because yeah, it was sick. He had like an illness, then he was sick for a few months and then just passed. But he was quite young actually. He passed very young. And that for me, it left a big vacuum, right? Because
mm,
I really did not get to experience him, right? I really did not get to. I didn't get to know him as much as I should, as much as I should have. I did not really get to experience him in that sense. So I felt robbed. That's how I felt. I felt robbed of the
mm,
essentials. Like,
mm,
there were things that I felt like, okay, naturally, fathers should teach their children, and I did not have that experience, right? So I had to like learn how to self learn a lot of things. How to self learn a lot of things. The mistakes I made, I think that my dad was like, my dad are beating they are beating the shit out of me. But but then I mean, there was a time back in secondary school, my brother took my mom's money, stole my mom's money, went to took it to school. I still went and got in debt in school. Like, how do you owe
Hmm.
as a secondary school? How are you owing 1,500 as at 2010? Do you know what it means to owe 1,000? The crazy part was that the guy he owed was collecting our money because my brother was the one collecting our transport fare from my mom at home. You know,
Hmm,
this
okay.
my brother will collect our ticket and go and give it to the person that is owing. We will now get to school and be very hungry. Crazy times. I think that if my dad would have beaten that boy. He would have beaten shit.
Hmm.
Crazy things. So I felt robbed of the essentials. I think I just felt angry. But I wasn't sure where to channel my anger. Did you get? I wasn't
Hmm.
sure. I mean, I tried being angry at God. I wanted to run away from. I mean, I had that stage where I wanted to run away from him. Everybody has that phase. Most people have that. So yeah, I think that's it for me. I
Hmm.
just felt robbed. But over time, I've learned that I can actually create certain experiences for myself to learn.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And see, guys, let me tell you of the fact, right? When I first of all met Dotun, right, you would, he's like one of the happiest person that you ever know, honestly.
Really.
And he smiles. Actually, I'm being sincere now. He smiles a lot. He smiles a lot that you would find it very difficult. If it's not that you guys have had conversations to that level, you will never know that he's somebody that's experienced something like this. Honestly, and really, even people that even wait, even people that have not even experienced little of what you have experienced. By the time you even see their content as you know, you don't see any like
So
what is this person going what is this person going through, right? And this is you who have been able to go through some of this things, right? Difficulties, challenges, struggles, right? And still at the end of it all, you are still able to fashion out something out of it, right? We know it
yeah,
might not be,
that's the point.
we know,
Yeah,
yeah, we know it
always
might
take
not
your
be
lessons.
perfect yet. Yeah, we know it might not be perfect yet, or it might not be where you want to be at the moment, but at least you have you have fashioned something. At least you have been able to get something out of it, right?
Yeah.
And it's not an experience. I know it's not an experience somebody prays for to have. It's not an experience I even
Mm-hmm.
wish for anybody to have. But life happens, right? Some of
Right.
these things we don't have control over, and one just needs to be able to find, okay, what next, right? What next? And I'm not. I don't want to dwell on it. Has happened. It has happened. I don't want to
No
dwell on that.
stress. You
I
just
need
want
to.
to bounce.
Uh,
One thing is,
yeah, I need
I
to.
think that one thing, there was one time I was in my department in school, and then I saw people coming. I think they had just had a presentation, and I saw people coming, and
Okay.
everybody's eyes was strong, like, and but I just promised myself that anybody that is coming to meet me, that I'll try my best to make them feel better because I'm not your lecturer. It's not my fault. So I mean, for everybody that comes to grip with that, that's fine. Just try to wind them a little and then just ensure that they look at the smile. So it just carried on. It carried on
Yeah.
from there. That was the day that it came to my head that okay, you can actually make it a conscious effort to make people just a little bit happier
Yeah.
when they come to you. Just your beat. Just your beat.
Mm.
For me, that's probably the lowdown. That's the lowdown.
It doesn't matter if even if things are going fine right now, there might still be challenges that will still come up, right?
Naturally.
There might still be things that would. I was speaking to this is somebody that we know, both of us know very well. This she has experienced quite a number of crazy things in her life, living with friends and all that. Now she left the friend's place. Now she's kind of on her own. And I was not having a discussion with her. I was like, okay, see, this experience that you have, if somebody comes to you and tells you his experiences something like that, now you have if let's say you're unable to you're not even getting any lesson from the whole experience, right? I just want to go too deep into the whole topic. You do not get any experience from that. And if somebody comes to meet you and said, okay, this is what I'm passing through, at least at the very least, you can share your own testimony or share your own experience
Share
with the
own
person to at
experience
least let
exactly.
the person know this is what I've also passed through something like this. I'm not the only one. You're not the only one that have gone through something like that. It brings a sense of belonging or a sense of comfort to the person that
Mm-hmm.
yes, because sometimes it makes you. There's some challenges that one will go through that makes you feel like I am the only one going through this challenge in your world, and you'll be so
Mm-hmm.
surprised that a couple of people around you also are going through something like that.
Or
You
maybe
get
worse.
and
Yes,
and
so.
I'm happy I'm happy that you are able to share this experience with us and thank you really thank you and as I said
Thank
you
you
have been
too.
able to fashion something good out of all this. It's not easy and I'm happy you're able to fashion something good out of it. You said you have a question for me. Okay,
I'm ready.
what?
Okay, so yeah, I mean, if you were to like look at yourself, the kind of person that you
Okay,
are, your own journey, right? If you were
okay.
to pick on certain experiences that shaped you to being the person that you are, let's say like you had probably to mention like, I mean, off the top of your head, maybe like two, three experiences, which would it be? Like two, three things that have two, three specific instances that have shaped you into, or that have shaped your thinking in a way to who you are and how you behave. I mean, right now, I mean, the kind of person that you are.
um I don't know if my life is very interesting that much, but let's
Okay,
see.
good. I'm good.
That's also for me. One, at the most recent is leaving my parents' place. Like that was like one major thing
Mm-hmm.
that kind of shaped me in that sense, the way I am, the way I even think right now, the way I even see life in general at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Before I've always been with them like all my life until recently I just decided that okay, you know what, I'm leaving. And
Okay.
not that when I mean I'm leaving, it's not that I'm saying I'm forsaking you, I'm not calling you yours anymore or
I know the
something.
prodigal
Like,
son.
like it's just like I just kind of need to be able to see the word from a different perspective. I want to know what it means to be on your own and be able to fend for yourself and
Mm-hmm.
uh, to just be able to be in a situation and you're the only one there and be able to find a solution for yourself, right? And not think, there's one daddy somewhere, there's one mommy somewhere that I
Mm-hmm.
can call or something. Yeah, because I can't be with them forever, right? So I
Of
just
course not.
needed to take that first step. So that has helped me, right? It has changed my perspective about a lot of things, what it means to be able to take care of a house, what it means to be able to pay for bills really
Right,
to be able to pay
right.
for bills pay for yeah, I take some certain financial responsibilities really it's that has helped then also uh the church I'm attending at the moment really
Yes, sir.
uh, the church I'm attending at the moment, I can say has a very strong impact. I thank God for where I came from. I'm not forgetting my foundation and all that, and I thank God for that. Really, I'm still connected to that. I'm not I'm not disconnected from it. But where I am at the moment, the decision of the church I'm attending at the moment, it's something that I am happy that I took that decision. And it was not like one voice from heaven came and said, if this is the church you should attend or something. No, no, there was no dove, there was no thunder or anything. I just came to the church and I was like, okay, let me just attend the service. And I've been hearing about the church when I was in school. When I came to Akura, I saw the church. I was like, let me just attend the service.
Okay.
And I connected immediately. And I was like, oh, okay, yes, this is it. And I can say some of the things I've been able to do right now, starting this podcast, having a business, is as I can say is as a result of the fact of the things that I kept hearing in the church. I said,
Okay.
one is to develop himself, one is to be able to, not have one source of income, that kind of thing. Do things, don't be stagnant, improve on yourself.
Mhm.
And those things pushed me to the fact that yeah, I need to do something about it, pushed me into making actions. Let me just put it that way. And I'm happy for that. I'm happy that
Mm.
I made that decision. So as I said,
Okay.
I don't really have a lot of interesting. Okay, one of that decision. It's kind of very personal, right? person I'm in a relationship with at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
That I can say that's like the top thing.
Yes, sir.
So,
Preach. Preach. Yeah, I do it. You know, I do it.
so that's like the top thing for me, right? The person I'm with, this is like my first and only relationship. I've never had any previous. Sometimes when some people talk about okay, exes. It feels very strange to me because I don't.
All right. All
You
right.
like I you get my point. Like I didn't
Okay,
know
good. Okay.
I can't grasp that concept because I've never experienced something like that, right? So I am this the relationship I am in at the moment has forced me to be able to um know how to first thing to know that you can't change. You don't have the power to change anybody. You
Of
might
course
try,
not.
like you really, you really can put a lot of effort into it, but you can't change someone. What you have to do is to be able to learn how to be able to complement someone. Don't necessarily change the person, right? If
Mm-hmm.
you feel that okay, this is the person I want to, probably spend the rest of my life with, get married to, and all that, you're not in that to change the person. You are in that relationship to kind of understand and know how you can make the person better by complementing the person's
Yeah, I
weaknesses.
know. Right?
And how to be able to better understand people and say that okay, this is the weaknesses of this person. How do I be a source of strength to this person during this person's weakness and all of that. Really, it has taught me what it means to be able to love somebody that is not love somebody else that is not your family
Mm-hmm.
member. Really, really, and I'm grateful for the experience. I'm really grateful for it, and that has changed my perspective towards it. That it's possible for you to be able to love somebody and the person is not related to you by blood in any way,
Mm-hmm.
to do it with genuinely, not out of lust, not out of what you want to gain, but just because you just I don't know why. I'm just choosing this person and to stay committed to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, I know probably maybe there are more, but off the top of my head, those are like the three that
Okay,
I think.
sharp. Love it for
Um,
you. So, do you
those
read
are like the three.
novel? Do you know Naval Ravikant?
No, who's
Okay, so
that?
Naval is like I don't know what he is now, but basically he's a billionaire. He's an
Okay,
investor, a venture capitalist. So he's a
okay.
philosopher. Yeah, that's one of the things. So it was like the three most important things to you as a young person, who you're with, so who you choose to spend the rest of your life with, where you stay, and I can't remember what the third thing is, but I think it was something about what you do or stuff like that.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think that I can actually relate in the okay moving out and then the relationship thing. Yeah, I think I can relate to that because I mean
Yeah.
right, I think that I've been quite lucky with relationships in that sense because
Mm.
I've met really, 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 really intelligent and incredible people. So yeah, and everybody is like a
Mm.
lesson in their own. Everybody teaches you something. Everybody opens your eyes to something different, and then you're with this person. For me, I mean, it's just a side to all of my friends that I have. Like everybody just has this thing they're having. Everybody has this thing they blow my mind with. Like, okay, So yeah, I think I'm
Yeah.
grateful for that.
Yeah. It's quite interesting sometimes when we look at it. Sometimes when we're actually making those decisions, you know that those decisions will have a
Long
ripple
lasting
effect in
impacts.
the
Yeah.
yeah, exactly, in
Mm-hmm.
the later future. Yeah. So to the traditions of DOTAG, right? We are kind of wrapping things up already. So DOTAG has two traditions. I think I spoke to you about it initially. The first one
Mm-hmm.
is you have a dinner, right? You're planning a dinner and you are to invite five people to the dinner, dead or alive, anybody, maybe it's just somebody that you adore, somebody, anybody, right? You have to invite five people to the dinner, right? I can be included though if you want to include me too, so I'm not exempted. I'm just saying. So, so,
Okay.
so you can invite five people to the dinner. Who would they be, dead or alive? And what will you guys be eating?
Dead or alive, love her. But let me see.
Mm.
A dinner. My five
Mm-hmm.
people, eh?
Yeah, five people.
Five. Okay. My dad first.
Okay.
I mean, because there's like a host of questions I want to ask him. I'm sure. Um, my dad. Who else? Frank. Frank, that's my friend. Because I know that
Okay.
he can ask the questions that I forget. Like I can definitely
Mm.
be so sure that there are some very very useless questions that I will be able to ask. I'll forget. So
Mm.
yeah, and uncomfortable question. He specializes in stuff like that. So my dad, Frank. Who else? Um, ah, I'm looking at criteria now, right? But I think because
Okay.
mm, let's see. If I call my mom will not want to talk. So no, this is all make believe, right? This is all make believe. So I'm just trying to create an action scenario in my head.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I think that I would call. Let me see. Okay, let's add my mom. My mom, my dad,
Okay.
Frank, Toluwani. I'm not adding any of my siblings for some reason because I don't know. There are too many family slots are filled up already. Sorry, sorry if they can hear this. Sorry, apologies. People will go and collect your cooler in the kitchen. But anyways, right. So yeah, Toluwani was the lady I talked about, my school mother back then. I think that of the people that I have
Okay.
met that have had like a profound impact, that have taught me the most. That particular lady taught me more than I can use. Like, it's like someone
Mm.
that has gone way ahead of you, way ahead, and comes and then teaches you. There was a time something happened, and I don't know if she listens to this, but I hope she does. There was a time something happened where you know, she was going through it. This lady did not used to, she was like a very, very happy person, very happy present. She was kind of person that you could not go to her house hungry and leave the same. You know, she was
Mm.
caring to a fault, as in to an actual fault. Like I've knocked at door. My house to house is very far, was very far. I knocked at door around past 11. She didn't question me where I was coming from. She didn't do anything. She just told me, go to the kitchen and sleep there, blah, blah, just go and eat and sleep. And then woke up next morning, I would talk, and that was the goal. There was no judgment. Now,
Mm.
notice this, even if she judged me at that point, she didn't show it. And it left like
Mm.
an indelible impact. Also, there was a time where I didn't have a phone. Like my roommate back there, I used to have one choco roommate. That one, that was 100 level. He removed my SIM and then took his phone and traveled to Lagos. So my phone was. So she gave me a phone that she had used before. Now and then that phone had some call recordings on it. Apparently, we did not know she was going through like a whole bunch of relationship trauma. As in, when I say trauma, as in the kind of trauma where I don't know. I hope I can share this. Like it involved like a man, and a best friend and stuff like that. So it wasn't like they were doing anything, but this guy was just really really playing mind games
Mm.
on her. He was playing mad mind games, and she didn't know.
Mm.
The worst part was this guy's younger brother was still her friend. So there was a lot of stuff, the whole bunch of stuff going on. The point is, she did not let this out in any way. She didn't let us know. She didn't show anything. Still young, immature me, right? And I sent her a text and I was like, oh, I found out about
Mm.
this. Like, what's up about it? She saw me a few minutes later and she acted as if she didn't even know that I sent anything. As if you send the message,
Mm.
like the kind of thing where something is a strong matter, but you avoid it
Yeah.
by not even mentioning it. There are some things that are not worth it.
Mm.
I think I picked a lot of lessons from that age. So yeah, I would have on the table out of merit. My mom, my dad, Frank, Toluwani. Last spot on the table. Last spot on the table. Well, who can I give this to? I don't know. Olo, Olava, eh?
it can just be maybe a songwriter that you like or an artist. Just like literally, you
Anybody,
need
the
entertainment.
songwriters
You
I
need
like.
entertainment.
I'll put Ronaldo. No, I can't put Ronaldo. Ronaldo does not understand English.
Oh,
no,
Vinicius or Belly, and who do you
no,
want to put on the same?
no, no. Um, and let me see. I think some entertainment, some entertainment. Let's see. Maybe Adele. Maybe
Adele. Okay.
Adele. I think Adele is remarkable. I think of all the artists that I've ever had a chance to like actually fall in love with, I think Adele is brilliant. She doesn't even
Okay.
do features like
Okay.
that. Just solo. Like, she's hot. She's tight. Tight. God.
I love that woman, honestly.
And Adele is
I wish she's part
she's incredible.
she's like one of my checklists in this world is to be able to meet her one on one. Like my greatest I feel like if I've done that,
It's Michael
she'll be
Jackson I
like
want to meet. It's Michael Jackson I want to meet. Michael Jackson was
I don't know, I
insane.
don't know.
Michael Jackson was
Oh my god, like Adele is just so like there's no way like if I'm going to be crying to anybody's song, I don't think I've cried to anybody's song, but if I'm going to be crying to anybody's song, most likely it's going to be Adele. And it's not
it
because
broke
of she
it broke my
partially
heart. So
I
I
was not
love
be-
I cried to Adele. Not like cry, but my heart shattered. I was listening to Adele. Ah, the song is Remedy. Anyways, Remedy by Adele for people that want to listen to it. I'm serious. It was I was dealing with something then. Not like it was like the person you love does not love you. That sort of thing.
yeah.
So and that's some crazy song. Remedy. Just in case you want to check it out and you know.
Oh my god. Really. Well, but honestly, that's a very, very interesting choice. Your dad, your mom, Frank, Adele, and Tolani.
Toluwani is
Yeah.
my goat.
So there's also this other tradition that we have that the previous guest will leave a question for the next guest. So the previous guest left a question for you. Person asked that what's your favorite color, and what do you think about a lady liking black? Do you think it's a weird thing?
Okay, so okay, so there was one thing I didn't answer in the previous question was what would they be eating? Well, you
Oh,
can serve
that's
them
really
all
obvious. What
rice and beans and dodo, please. Rice and beans and dodo and fried fish. And all those stew that used
Okay.
to have like all those that used to have oil on the side. So yeah,
Yeah.
for this question, my favorite color, well, can't say I have one. There are just some color combos that I'm very particular, particular about. I mean, I like pastel colors. I like warm pastel colors. But I think favorite color in that sense, I think it's like a dark shade of like gray. I think it has to be like dark gray because of the neutrality, I just like I really just like right. What do I think about a lady liking? Sorry, liking what?
Black or dark colors? Do you think it's black or a dark color?
Uh,
Do you think it's
what
weird?
do I think? No, I think that I think it's actually quite cool. I think it's cool, especially when you know how to play it. I think when you know how to like really combine and stuff, like when you know how to own the black, because black is a color you have to own, right? Like you can't be
Mm.
timid. You can't when you wear black, you have to own it in a way to seem imposing. So I think it's actually quite
Mm.
cool. I think it's a cool choice. When you can own it, it's like really, really tight, really nice, actually. So I think it's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. Okay, okay.
Yep.
So just to give a bit of context, I guess I think I should have told you about the person that asked the question before asking the question, just to give a bit of context. So the person that asked this question, her name is Oluchi Okenyi. She was the last guest I had. She's a communication specialist, so she was one that asked this question. So
Okay.
I'll let her know that that question has been answered.
Oh,
So
okay. Oluchi, was she in
so I
Accra?
want. No, 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 she was not.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. I mean, I used to know one of the two was a
Mm.
commerce specialist.
Yeah, so I want you to also ask a question or ask the next guest a question. So the next guest is going to be answering your question. Any question. Doesn't
Any
have to be
question in the
deep.
world, right?
Any question in the world.
All
I
right,
really don't know who the person is going to be.
all right,
Yeah.
all right. Let's create some controversy. Um, I need the next person coming on the show to answer me in all honesty. I hope the person is a football fan because I need them to answer me if they think that Rodri deserves the Ballon d'Or. This one I mean, if they think that Rodri deserves the Ballon d'Or over Vinicius Junior, that's the first
Mm,
question. Second question is if you could go back in time to like tweak some of the mistakes that you've made, would you actually like go back? Not, I'm not asking the mistakes
mm,
per se. Would you take that choice to go back, or you think you'd continue your life as you have it now? Do you understand?
mm.
Yeah, those are
Okay,
my
okay.
questions. I think I'm good to go.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Dotun, for the time. And we have come to the end of the podcast. Thank you, Dotun, for the time.
Thank
Thank you
you,
for
Chief.
and I know
Anytime.
you usually have a very very busy schedule. Most especially Sundays is usually your me time. Like nobody calls to disturb
Anything
us.
from our guys, from
You,
our
you
guy.
make
Any don't worry, don't worry.
it.
Don't stress it. Because I think it's been a real pleasure. I mean, being here.
Mm,
I think that I needed it more than I knew, right? But
mm,
it's been an amazing time. To be honest, I probably want to do this again. It's been amazing.
Yeah, thank you. It's, Dotag, we appreciate you. Thank you for being here. And to all our listeners there, thank you guys for tuning in to the very end. Thank you so much. And of course, if you know you have not subscribed, wherever it is you're listening from, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever it is, just click on that subscribe button. It helps us in that sense. So please, we want you to be a part of us. Subscribe and you'll get notifications once new episodes drop. Now, thank you, everyone. Have a very, very wonderful day. Bye.